We got a question in for our American mamas. Dear mamas, I'm so encouraged with the videos y'all are posting of people rising up against critical race theory. Do you think the tide has turned against this nonsense?
Well, let's ask our American mamas.
Mama, mama.
Told me not to come. She said, that ain't the way I know.
And joining us now are American mamas, Teri Netterville and Denise Arthur. Y'all have posted some amazing videos on your Facebook page. There was one of the black father who's a physician and says, look, if I'm standing here with 2 doctorates to my name, who's going to tell me that I've been oppressed because I was black? And then the other one of the kid who stood up and said, I'm so tired of all your nonsense. I'm going to a private school.
15 years old.
Well, there's a lot going on with all this, though,
They're rising
too.
up.
Well, the whole, Ty Smith, who was the gentleman that spoke, the father that spoke. First off, people are questioning if he has 2 medical degrees. He didn't say what his medical degrees were in, and he's a YouTube guy, and he does all kind of stuff, but he does talk about health and different things. So now, the big thing is everyone's trying to say that he's Candace Owens' brother, big brother.
Oh, really?
So that's still under investigation, although he did say that he was her older brother on his Instagram. So we really don't know what's going on with all that. But with all that said, every word that he said
Yes.
was just spot on for the way we feel.
Right.
I mean,
Well, and it shouldn't be this way, but it is. There's more credibility given to men and women of color who speak out against the critical race theory
Right.
than those of us who are white. And so they just take it, it's almost like if they stand up and they say this, people will listen. The 15-year-old, I was so impressed with
Oh, my
him
gosh.
because
Amazing.
he not only told the school board about the first day that the principal came in and spoke to their class, and he gave empathy about the black community, the Asian community, the Latino community. He said by the end of it, he and his friends, he said there was no representation for those of us who had white color skin. In fact, he said we were made to feel guilty for being white.
Right.
And this is his principle. These are his leaders. And he talked about the history teacher who they don't allow political statements, and yet there's Black Lives Matters. There's things that are allowed. Yet when he tried to write All Lives Matters, the history teacher was told to erase it immediately.
That was gone.
Yeah. So,
But a teacher did tell him that she does support him and his ideology and the way he thinks about things. But if she did that out loud and proud, then she probably
was
would
worried
be out
about
of a
her job.
Yeah.
When we were little, remember that song, Jesus Loves the Little Children, all the children of the world,
Yeah,
red, yellow, black, and
black or white. Right.
Now it's like, we were taught to love our neighbors, and now it feels like we're taught to judge our neighbors, and sadly, to judge them by the color of our skin. And it's kind of been this weird, I don't even know how to express it other than to say white people are being made to feel guiltier every single day. For what? For what?
Well, and you're right. What you just said, white people are made to feel guilty. But the bad thing about it is when we're talking about our young kids and we're talking about school, that's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that all the other races are being taught that, all those kids you've been playing with on the playground or all those kids you've been eating lunch with, now you're going to start looking at them differently, which is what Ty Smith said.
Yes.
Because when he realized that all the white kids were getting to get their lunch first because they had a cold lunch or what have you. And then he said, then he started to see himself as being last in line and being different from them. And like it wasn't until it was pointed out to him. But then that's what they're doing.
And that's what
they want them
15-year-old
all to look at each other different.
They're teaching hate.
Exactly.
Can we just say the truth for what it is? They're teaching hate. And this 15-year-old kid said, I never thought about race before all of this. He goes, now that's the first thing I think of. He said, none of us cared what color our friends were, but now we're made to look at that first. And he said, now that's what I'm made to think about first. And he said, I don't want to do that. And he said to the board, be careful. We're the leaders. We see what's up.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so proud of this generation of children, because we're seeing this happen more and more, because it seems like the adults are worried about being canceled with their jobs or whatever. The kids don't care. You
Right.
see more and more
They're
videos.
having to fend for themselves
They-
because adults can't even stand up for them
That's
without
right.
fear.
They're going to the school boards. They are going to these big meetings in their communities, and they are standing up for what they know is right.
They don't want to be divided.
No, they don't
They
want
don't
to be
wanna be
divided.
divided, and
they
I
don't
think they're
want
gonna figure it
hate.
out.
This hate that is, and is the liberal leaders of our country have perpetuated this ever since Trump got into office all those years ago, and they have just kind of siphoned all the goodness that we had for each other, and they've brought out this hatred that is so horrible, and it's palpable.
Right.
And I feel like these kids are like, okay, no more.
It's
This-
like
we're not doing this.
I've been calling it the chip giveaway. That's what it feels like. They're starting to give people that don't have a chip on their shoulder. They're giving them a chip to go
Yeah,
on their shoulder.
I'm with
It's
ya.
making me crazy. Stop it.
That's not right.
If you'd like to ask our American Mamas a question, go to our website, americangroundradio.com/mamas, and click on the Ask the Mamas button. Teri Netterville, Denise Arthur, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.